Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new or simply not yet subscribed, I'm Brittany, and definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button for me. Liking, commenting, watching, sharing, it all helps me out a substantial amount, and I'm so appreciative of it. With that being said, let's dive into our topic. So for those of you that don't know me, I am a mom of two. I have a little girl who is like a year and a half now, and a 5-year-old boy. I've heard things, when I had my son that it's like the angel baby that's going to trick you into having another child. What I didn't realize is how different my pregnancies would be between both children. So I thought when I was pregnant with Sebastian, I thought it was horrible. I was incredibly nauseous. It was a nauseous medication that wasn't doing a thing. And up giving birth 6 weeks early. He was in the NICU for 2 with a feeding tube because he wouldn't eat the amount that they wanted him to in the time frame that he was given. It's really hard in the NICU because they will get your hopes up like, oh, you're going to get to go home. You're going to get to take your baby home. And then that day would come and like, no, you're maybe tomorrow. So it's stressful. It's hard. And I do an entire video on talking about my pregnancy with him, but like my labor with him. But with Freya, my pregnancy was completely different. I was nauseous, but I was also throwing up the first and second trimester. With Sebastian, I got sick twice. I threw up blood once and I went to the hospital. And then the first day of my second trimester, I got really sick. But with Freya, I was insanely sick. I would throw up at least once a day for the first 2 trimesters. I had such bad food aversion. I could either only eat like super healthy foods, cereal, or like pastries, and that's it. And I gained weight quite rapidly with Freya, where it was not that quick with Sebastian. And that is common for you to gain a lot more weight a lot faster with your second baby because your body has this like muscle memory to it where it remembers, oh, this is what I need to do to get pregnant, so it does it faster. With Freya, I also had horrible migraines, especially in the last trimester. They were so bad that the hospital or the doctor had scheduled me to go to an actual headache specialist, but that wouldn't have been till after my pregnancy. They only worked 1 day a week, so it was booked out insanely far. But my normal doctor had done MRI of my brain, and it came back. I don't remember what the term is, but it's these little white dots that basically show that you're having a migraine. Like, yep, you're having these. There's proof. Like, how do you fix them? Because my migraines would get so bad to the extent that I couldn't fall asleep, and nothing would help it. I also had edema and anemia with Freya. So my feet were so incredibly swollen. I do post a vlog. I look very rough in the vlog, but I do post a vlog where you literally you push down on my skin, on my foot, and it's like a thumbprint. It's so bad. And what do you do with that? You're not supposed to walk. The more you walk, the worse it gets. And it's in the summer, so it's boiling. Had horrible symptoms with her. Much worse than with Sebastian. And it actually would scare me having another kid because of how bad my symptoms were with Freya. And even just birth was so different. Sebastian, I had the contractions that I was just telling myself that they weren't contractions. And then I went to the hospital and then no, you're not giving birth within 2 weeks. And I was like, okay. And then I bled and was in actual labor. With Freya, I had 1 sharp pain, but then it stopped. So I'm like, okay, well, it can't be a contraction because contractions don't just stop. And then I laid in bed and my water just broke. And I'm like, oh my God. And when I tell you the amount of liquid that comes out of your body, like I didn't even know my body had that much liquid. It was insane. Really gross. I felt so disgusting. It's way more than the movies. I don't know if that's TMI. It's a lot. But it's still no contractions. But they're like, well, you're having a C-section anyways. I have a bicornuate uterus, which means that my uterus, as they say, has horns. It's split. It's a split uterus. And it means that one like section of the uterus is bigger than the other, like one of the whole horns. I don't know. Not a doctor. But it, like, with that, like, it's very common to go into labor early because the baby runs out of room to grow. But because of that, if you have a C-section the first time, it's very hard to have a regular birth the second time. Where nowadays, if you just have a normal uterus, you can. Like, if you have a C-section, you can have a normal birth after. But with a bicornuate uterus, it's much harder to. So they just plan on a C-section for me again. And this C-section, I remembered a whole lot better than I did with Sebastian because it was so much quicker. I wasn't as exhausted from being in labor for so long because it was basically instant. Within that hour, I was in surgery. And I remember throwing up while I was having the C-section done. Not pleasant. But even personality-wise, from like Sebastian was such this chill, laid-back baby. And he had moments where he was overstimulated. He had moments where he was, fussy. But he was pretty calm until he reached almost 2. And then he started getting like a little crazy with energy and like he was just very hyper. And he would eat. He was a great eater. Not anymore. Now he's super picky. But he was a great eater. Freya is horrible. Horrible. She's a horrible eater. I'm lucky. Like, if she eats one chicken nugget, that's a win. If she eats a spoonful of, like, pasta, that's a win. She won't even eat breakfast. She drinks milk for breakfast, and she won't eat anything. So because of that, I feed them lunch earlier because I just can't get her to eat. And I can't force feed her. And she acts like her brother does now. So she is not this calm baby. She has so much energy and she's very determined. Like, she started walking before her first birthday. Sebastian started walking when he was 15 months. It's crazy just how different both kids are. Like, just the entire experience. And Sebastian when he was Freya's age, he would wake up 1 to 2 times a night. Freya wakes up 2 to 10. So it's a whole lot more. I know that, it does influence them having a sibling because they're monitoring their behavior a little bit like by watching them. So they're learning from their sibling. But even just pregnancy-wise, it's crazy the differences. And people don't really tell you how different each pregnancy can go. Some people have these wonderful pregnancies and they love being pregnant. Personally, as blessed as I was to be pregnant and have a successful pregnancy with my children, I did not like being pregnant. I did not like how I looked being pregnant. And I don't think people say that enough. It's supposed to just be like, you're just supposed to be feel blessed and happy. And you can feel happy, but you can also not enjoy it. Because for me, I was having these horrible symptoms, like just horrible. It didn't feel good for most of it. I could barely function some days because I felt that horrible. And there was nothing I could do. I just had to go through it because, I wanted my baby. But I couldn't wait to be pregnant anymore because of the experience. And I don't think that we should shame people for feeling that way because some people they have the bad symptoms. They don't feel good. They're swollen. Their clothes don't fit. My foot actually grew an entire size since pregnancy. So none of my shoes fit anymore. Don't get me wrong. So grateful. I'm so incredibly grateful for my children. But I think it's okay to not love being pregnant and still be grateful to have that experience. If you guys have any pregnancy stories that you want to share with me. I would love to hear them. I mean, I like listening to people's stories, what they went through, what they think. If you want me to do more like story time videos like this, make sure to like this video and make sure you're subscribed. And until my next one, I love you guys. Bye.